Well, for years, Omaha Central's baseball coach raised his own money and installed his own bullpens just to give his players a place to practice.
Tonight, that era is over in the best way possible. First Alert 6's Brenna Kiefner has the story of the refurbished complex and what it means for North Omaha.
If you've ever wondered whether baseball still has a future in Omaha, take a look at this. For years, Omaha Central's program called Lynch Park home. A field in such poor shape, the head coach funded and installed the bullpens himself. Now they play here. The newly renovated WOWT Park complex features upgraded baseball and softball facilities, including turf playing surfaces, giving North Omaha athletes a modern space to practice and compete.
OPS schools are left competing against suburban programs that have a lot more money, a lot more resources, a lot more coaching. So in bringing together these big institutions in Omaha, we were able to accomplish a whole lot.
A 5-year agreement between Omaha Public Schools and the city puts OPS in charge of managing the complex. And any revenue it generates goes right back to the district. Tuesday night, a dedication ceremony officially welcomed the community onto the new fields before the opening game of the American Legion season. And for the coaches and players who built this program from the ground up, it's just the beginning.
I'm just excited for people to celebrate baseball on the eastern side of this city. It still exists, kids still want to play, and it's a sport worth enjoying.
In Omaha, Brenna Kiefner, First Alert 6.
Turned out great.
Yeah, it looks amazing.